John. At 9 o'clock.
I got 1 o'clock here, Denny.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock Alaska time, and welcome to Mastery Roleplay with Denny Grimes and John McLeod. I am coming to you from Alaska because I'm here for a wedding, which was last night. It was an awesome time, and I'm not into weddings. However, something in our family, and it turned out great. John's in Southwest Florida. So, John, how's things there?
Things are going good, Denny. You know what happened on this day back in the late 1800s?
Oh, no. What?
The first phone call from New York to Chicago.
Is that right?
It is. I'm just bringing forward the day in history for you that we covered this morning.
Are you co-host, John?
I don't know. Want me to look and see?
Yeah, I could use some help here.
I am not co-host. You need to make me co-host.
There you go. You are co-host.
I am now. All right. I got the waiting room covered for you.
All right. Well, here we go. If you guys want to participate, I know many of you guys might be on our recon calls that are on that are daily, 8:30 to 9 o'clock Central Time. That's Monday through Friday. We kind of do the same thing, except we only have 30 minutes and we have some participation. This is full-on participation. So if you want to sharpen your skills, this is where you raise your hand, and we have generally 4-minute role plays, and we're happy to do what you want to do. Maybe you have an appointment coming up you'd like to prepare for. Maybe you had a appointment that didn't go so well. You'd like to redo it and have a mulligan on it. That's why we're here. And we always have plenty of great objections. John, we were working on this past couple of days on recon. For the people that weren't on recon, a couple of things that came up that were pretty interesting. And I don't think we really got to finish one of them. Where would you like to start? Your mic is off.
Not anymore.
Okay.
That whole colorblind thing. All right. So here's what we started this morning. We covered making sure both decision makers are there. Avoiding giving the price over the phone in order to get the appointment.
Okay.
Have a license. Will you pay me a referral fee?
Yep.
I want to fix a few things before we list.
Yep.
Those were the 4 that we covered this morning. So are any of those tickle your fancy, or you want to go a different direction?
No, I think that's pretty good. In fact, let's pick up on the what was the second one you said?
The second one was avoid giving the price over the phone.
All right. Let's do that one.
All right, perfect.
So I'm calling you, John, and you can demonstrate it unless there's somebody's got their hand up. In fact, we'll do it once. We'll let somebody else do it maybe the second time. All right. Ring, ring.
Hello.
I am going to shut off my camera. Just for
I'm going to shut mine off too, because I don't want you to see my face.
Stop. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Hey, my name is Mr. Grimes. I live over here on Oakmont Street, and I'm calling looking for an agent maybe to give me some information to get my house on the market.
Awesome. And this is, guys, how you exactly play role play. Denny started as the agent. He went into the seller. So are you calling me as the agent, or?
Yeah, you are the agent.
I'm the agent. Okay. Oh, Mr. Grimes. Well, thank you very much for calling today. Again, my name is John McLeod. What's your first name, by the way?
It's Denny.
It's Denny. Do you prefer Denny or Mr. Grimes?
Denny's fine.
Excellent. Thank you, Denny. Again, my name is John McLeod, and Denny, you said you're looking for someone to come over and help you get your property on the market and sold. Is that my understanding?
Well, I'm trying to get some information on really, on getting it on the market and what I should be listing it for. And so I'm talking to a couple of different agents, and I thought, I've seen your signs. I'm over here on 1755 Oakmont in the Tanglewood area. And I was kind of curious if you would give me some information over the phone.
Sure. What are you looking for?
Well, I've been on Zillow and I've done some research, and I was kind of curious if you were to list my house, what you might list it for.
That's a great question, Denny. And as much as I'd like to say online algorithms and so forth are reliable, there is nothing like firsthand experience.
Well, yeah, I understand. But if Zillow can give me a number, and that's a computer, you should be able to, because I've seen your sign, you have some knowledge of the area. Can you ballpark it for me, please?
Denny, are you looking for a ballpark, or are you looking for accuracy?
Now, I tell you what, now that is a bullseye question. So just say, in case people didn't miss that, that I think is the best approach to somebody who wants information over the phone. In other words, do you want good information or bad information? And so I think that one really comes through. And from a rational standpoint, I don't know how to argue. Well, I want good information, of course, John.
Excellent. And I want to be able to provide that for you, Denny. The only way I can give you good information with confidence is for us to take about 15 minutes at your house so I can see the house from your angle and your perspective with your feelings behind it. So what works for you? Today at 4, tomorrow at 6?
Now I'm going to stop because I don't really know. I would have to be a nincompoop or irrational, I think, to argue with that. And if I kept pushing for something that was now we're off role play, obviously the camera's back on. If I was still pushing for a number, can anyone come up with an analogy that maybe can make that point strong? Because that question was bullseye. I trust you wrote it down because it makes all the sense in the world. So can anyone come up with an analogy? I can. Can you?
I've got a couple, but let's see what everyone else has. Yael, you are not allowed to be this quiet. And here's something interesting. She's actually muted right now.
Oh, okay. I'm unmuted. I actually made like a whiteboard with the objections and what the responses were, and I'm literally trying to pull it out so I could take notes. I can't find it. But
well, you need to have a whiteboard that tells you where your whiteboard is.
Exactly.
All right, so let me give you an analogy. So if somebody kept pressing, here's an example. And I love analogies. I'm kind of an analogy machine. You should write these on your whiteboard. So John, if you were really sick, would you, and you called your doctor's office and you say, look, I'm sick. Would you really want your doctor to kind of guess at maybe how they should treat you? Or would you really want a great diagnosis? And maybe you don't even use them. Maybe if your favorite child was sick, everyone's got one. If your favorite child was sick, would you want the doctor to give you a diagnosis over the phone, or would you respect the doctor because they wanted to examine your child? And that's kind of the same type of thing. Does that ring true? Could anybody ask that question? Does it make sense? Do you think that might help get the message across?
I love that. And we used something very similar this morning, Denny.
What was this morning? Oh, on Recon.
Yeah, on Recon this morning.
Okay.
I know you were a little tired, understandably so. So it was a real life scenario. The seller is a rheumatologist. So said, I understand you're a rheumatologist. Let me ask you, if your parents came to you with a set of x-rays and an MRI regarding whether or not they should have their shoulder repaired, would you be comfortable advising them medically? And she said, absolutely. And I called timeout. I said, there is no way that a rheumatologist is going to read an x-ray and an MRI and give advice on that. And she said, well, they do in Canada. I said, well, I'm not going to comment on Canada. So there is no way that a rheumatologist is going to do that. So we got to keep this real. Another great analogy with this, guys, is how many of you have had a problem with your car?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody's like, yeah, I mean, you call up and you set an appointment to bring the car in, and you try and get them to tell you what's wrong over the phone. And guess what? You can't. They got to plug them into computers these days to figure out what's going on with the cars. So nobody's going to tell you what's wrong and stick their neck on a line in this day and age without getting their hands on it first. And we should be no different. Arnie, you have a question.
Yeah. Well, it just made me think of WebMD.
Of course.
You can go on WebMD and pick a whole section of the body, like your torso or your stomach, and it'll spit out 50 different things that could be wrong with you. And even when you narrow it all down, it'll still spit out 50 things that could be wrong with you. Do you want to try to treat all of those things?
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
It's not cancer.
That is fantastic, because then it comes down to how quickly do you want this done?
So,
Zillow and WebMD are similar. They both have great information, but you need to know how to use that information.
So John, of the 4, that was one.
Yep.
pick out another one and throw me. I don't see.
I'm not going to give you the layup. All
No.
right. The layup was, does anyone want an easy one? Come on, someone raise your hand and say you want, Arnie, you want the easy one? Your hand's still up.
Sure.
Okay. So we're going to get the easy one out of the way, Denny. Arnie, here's the thing. I'm the seller. You're the agent. We're sitting down. Here's the question. So Arnie, I have my license. I don't use it. Will you pay me a referral fee if I list with you?
You're licensed?
Mm-hmm. I have a
Yeah.
full-time job. I just don't want, but I do have a license. Will you pay me a referral fee if I list with you?
Absolutely.
Okay, that one's done. So that it was not a trick question. It really wasn't. If you're willing to pay a referral fee to another agent, why wouldn't you pay one to a client who's got a license? Right. Okay.
Oh, because you cannot.
Well, all right. Now, wait a minute. Now, are you wanting somebody to push back on that?
I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't push back on it. Me
No, I
personally.
wouldn't either. However, let me give you the same scenario. And I don't know in different states. However, in the state of Florida, you can give the seller any piece of the commission you want to, even if they're not licensed.
Yep.
So now you've got somebody who's unlicensed that understands real estate. And now I'm going to say as a seller, well, listen, we'll find somebody who wants to role play. I'll go to Ryan. Ryan, your experience, you're top row here. Ryan, so you are the, well, again, this one may not be the right one either to give you. However, if you want to pass, you can pass or play. I'm the seller and we're having a conversation. And I'm going to ask you if I were a licensed real estate agent, would you give me a referral fee?
If you're a licensed real estate agent, absolutely get the listing.
Okay, so I'm not a licensed real estate. However, you're allowed to give me a referral fee. So I'm asking for a referral fee off the commission because you would give it to a licensed agent. And I feel like you're discriminating the fact that I'm not licensed. So would you give me that discount?
So this is a different question in Arizona because I guess technically there's ways I can do that in Arizona. I've never ran into this one, Denny. I would say no, because if I negotiated my income away so easily, what do you think I'm going to do with your house?
I get it. I've never role played this, you guys, and I'm putting everyone kind of on the spot. And I'm saying, well, you would give it to a licensed agent. I'm asking for the same discount. That's all, no more. I don't want you to discount your fee. Just pay me what you would if I were licensed.
So honestly, I mean, if I really ran across this and somebody was adamant about it, once again, get the listing.
Okay.
Is my idea, but obviously I tried to negotiate it out of that before I did that. But I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to list a home unless it was a ridiculous amount, Denny.
I get it. Any other comments on that, you guys? I've never run across that. Now,
Arnie's got something.
No, her hand's always been up.
No, it just went back up again.
Oh, okay.
It went down and then up just to get our attention, and it worked.
You know where you do run across that, Denny, is sometimes in the negotiating process as you get further along and there's a problem, repair that's required to be done or something, they will ask for you, the agent, to. I've had actually other agents ask me, well, if I give a little, you give a little, let's make this deal happen. So you could see your commission go that way, and I've run across that before.
But we can do that. Arnie, did you have a question on what I asked? The role play I was doing, is there something else?
I didn't have a question, but I might, if they're not licensed and I'm in a state that allows that, I might offer them a lower referral fee.
Got that. Yeah, I get it. That would be a very tactically smart way of doing it if I were a consumer. And if I was, so anyway, we can go on to
Most consumers don't know that referral fees are out there. So
yeah, I would say if they went through the trouble of finding out you can get a referral fee and that in your state you don't have to be licensed to get a referral fee.
Yeah.
And you
And there are ways to handle that too. And I've had situations like this come up. I reduced the net commission by the amount of the referral fee, and then offered half of that, whatever that commission rate was, as the co-broken MLS. So I was spreading personally spreading the compensation out between both parties. The only thing we came up, go ahead. Who had something?
Brian.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Just as I'm thinking about this and rolling it around in my mind, I might come up with the idea that, you know what, if you want like other agents, if you want a referral fee, you know what, I'm more than willing to do that. If you help me bring a buyer, then I will lower my commission, or I'll give you a referral fee in that process.
Yep. Okay. I like that.
You could also, and we'll close the loop on this. Let's get on to something else.
All right.
Is you could say, yes, okay, here, I've never done it before. However, can we make this a win-win? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do that. If you do, could you refer me to one person that might need real estate advice? So that might be a win-win for you. So let's go on to something else. We've been working on this. I've got one, and I want to see how many people have been listening. And now the interest rate, the Fed just raised the interest rate a quarter point, I think, on Wednesday. I don't even know what day it is. I think it's Friday. Yes, it is Friday. So I am now going to be the buyer, and I'm going to say, look, I just saw interest rates go up. And again, I think that's for the 8th or 9th time, and I'm definitely not buying in this market. That is my objection. What agent out there wants to handle it? 4-minute round.
Yael has her hand up physically.
Physical, but I'm probably not going to do such a good job, but I do want to try it.
Well, boy, that's like, what's your attitude walking into that one? I'm not.
Yael, do you recognize this guy?
Which guy? Oh,
On my mug?
Oh, yes, I do.
What's he famous for saying?
I don't know, because I don't remember.
Do or do not. There is no try. We don't try. We do.
Do or do not. There is no try. Okay, amazing. So interest rates are, so you don't want to buy because interest rates are high? Who am I talking to?
I mean, they just went up again. So definitely it's the wrong time for me to buy. You got the time. You got the timer going, John?
All right. So what's your purchase price? What's your monthly payments that you're comfortable staying in?
Well, I'm paying $2,500 a month in rent, and I figured it'd be a little bit, maybe $3,000.
Okay. And what about the higher interest rates is causing you not to want to make a move right now?
Well, I mean, why would you buy when prices are high? Interest rates are high right now. So
I get it. I get it. I guess my direction that I'm going in is this an affordability issue, or is this that you're hoping that the rates will come down? So I'm just trying to figure out where you're at so I can help you best.
Well, if rates are, I don't even know. I mean, the rates are up, and I'm paying $2,500 a month in rent now. And so I've never really, I don't know if it's an affordability issue, because I don't know how to calculate payments.
Okay, well, calculating payments, you're in the $400,000 price range, I think, if I remember correctly. Let's just assume that's where you're at.
Okay.
So with the rates going up right now, okay, let's just off script. Let's assume that now, because rates went up, you're not getting the house that you wanted, and I have to try to guide you into getting less house than you want. Could we make that?
This is great. Now somebody else is taking over our show and making their own objections. So this is awesome.
No, because okay. So the rates are up, so you don't want to make a decision. So I asked you, what about the rates going up makes you want to hold off?
It's a bad time to buy. The Fed just raised the interest rate again, and they're expecting more, because they haven't tamed inflation. They're going to still go up. So why would I want to buy now?
What's the reason that you want to buy?
Hallelujah.
Thank you. Oh.
Now, you guys, you got to remember, since a lot of you guys may not have been on the call, I've developed something very brilliant. It's the formula. So we already know the steps. It's acknowledge, isolate, clarify, answer, close. And John will put those in there. However, then I want you to think of the baseball diamond. So that's first base. You're going to get the acknowledgement is like, I understand that. Other than that, you're going to go into some clarifying questions to understand their current situation. That's first base. Do not get into numbers yet. until you go to second base. Second base is motivation. Understand their motivation before you go into operation. You got to find out where their pain point is, or why they're moving. Why are they making the decision to move? All right. That's second base. So that's where you go automatically. All right. Why are you thinking about buying out? Blah, blah, blah. And go deep, as John would say, 3 to 5 deep. Get the emotional level. Now that's second base. Third base is pain. Pain equals what they're not thinking about. So you go, understand, you do the first part of the model in first base, motivation, second base, pain on third base. And then you reduce it down to the ridiculous. If it's a number, you're going to bring it down to X number of dollars a day. Or what if you're wrong? That type of thing. So finally, she asked the right question. Why am I making the move? So when we go into the role plays, just remember that little picture of running the bases. That gives you a good memory peg on the steps you should be taking. So we'll go right to there. Well, hey, listen, we have no space here. We have no backyard. We want a puppy, and I like a garage. There, that's why.
Wow. Okay. So am I supposed to peel the layers and keep going with your motivation, or will you dress your
No, you don't have to. Although in real life,
Because
you
Denny's
probably
taken
would.
over a minute of your time, so you're going to get some extra time. You've got a
Yeah,
minute
you don't
and
have
15
to.
left.
No, take me to third base now.
which is operational? Okay. So
No,
then
pain.
Amen.
I don't do pain. So what I did instead of writing down pain was what you're not thinking about.
Okay. There is if you don't like the word pain, there is a disadvantage of me not moving. Help me see it.
Okay. So if you stay where you are, what's the likelihood that the interest rates are going to continue to go up?
Well, they in the news, they said they are going to go up. So I think they're going to go up. They can't go up forever. So I'm going to wait for them to come down.
And is there a possibility? Okay. So how much time are you willing to wait this out?
I don't know. I'd probably sign another year's lease.
Okay, so you sign another year lease, stay in these cramped quarters, a year comes from now and interest rates are even higher. And how will you feel in a year from now?
See, that is an example of pain. You're helping me. You're future pacing me that a year from now, things won't be better. And you could layer that on. Now I've wasted another $30,000.
Well, would you split it into two and say, hey, two things can happen in a year. Either interest rates can stay where they are, or they can go up even higher, or they can go down. Because really 3 things can happen.
Time. All right. Good. Way to play ball there, Yael. So any comments? John.
Arnie's got something. Hands up again. This is the Tanner of the afternoon. I love it.
I don't have any comments. I wanted to give it a shot because this is what I get all day, every day.
Well, let's give Yael some feedback first. John, do you have any notes for Yael? Because she really digs feedback.
Yeah, I love that. And the first thing, okay, so the first thing is deal with the pain. Okay, you have to change your terminology, whatever. You have to get people uncomfortable. They will not move if they're not uncomfortable. Now, it took 4 minutes and 52 seconds to get out of Denny, which you didn't even ask him. He gave it to you on a silver platter, wrapped up with a bow on top, drizzled in chocolate and orchids, which was, I'm renting. You got to get that out. Interest rates, I don't want to buy now. Prices are too high. Great. Tell me, do you currently own or rent? Very first question. I wouldn't even go to, I get it. Very first question. Do you own or rent? It doesn't matter what they say because you win either way. But you need to know which avenue to go down. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Awesome.
Yeah. Skipping to the end of the conversation, like when I said, okay, in a year from now, what if the interest rates go even higher?
Yep.
But we don't know what's going to happen in a year from now. So how could I say such a thing? So would you say
it's
like
not hard. He gave
What?
it to you. He says your interest rates just went up a quarter point. Looks like they're going to go up again. Huh. So given that, are interest rates working for you or against you as a buyer?
Got it.
Oh, it's
Okay.
only going to get worse. He gave you all the pain points.
I wanted one more thing to come out, guys.
What's
If you
that, Denny?
if you really study what the Fed does,
Mhm.
typically when the rates go up, sorry, when they change the Fed funds rate, long-term rates go down. So you guys, this is just a recent discovery for me. You go to freddiemac.com and click on research, and then you can click on mortgage rates, and you can see exactly what rates are doing. You don't have to call anyone. You can probably have the app on your phone and you can watch it. And you don't have to geek out on it. I'm just saying that's kind of a cool thing for me to watch. The other thing, when we're going to do this again, remember what we talk about when there's rates. Other than finding out if they own, that's the first question. The second thing you want to do when you're going through rates and dollars, you got to get rates to payments. And then you can't really, when you're on third base and digging into the cost, the pain, let's just use pain, and you're talking about a certain rate, you got to get it to payment. I was attempted to do that up front. What was I comfortable with? Although I don't like the word comfortable, because I think people aren't going to be comfortable with mortgage payments initially. Every time I bought a house and moved up, it was like a stretch. It was not comfortable. I grew into comfortability. So you want to get rate to payment, and then the payment is if it's more or less $500, right, more than my rent, then you can break that down because you're making equity, and eventually you can get it to a cost per day. So that's all part of the breaking the rate scenario down. The important thing is get out of rate and get into payment. That's the only thing that matters, and then you can break it down into a daily factor. So we have some
Mark
hands
Benson's
up.
got his hand raised.
Yep. Is he wanting to play?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I
Mark,
just want to add a couple more things to probe. How long have you been renting? When was the last time you had a rent increase, and what do you think the likelihood is that the owner of the property is going to rent it at a higher rate, or that they're going to decide to sell? And then also, right now, do you think there's going to be more competition now or in the future if rates go down? So now maybe the more motivation on the seller's part, because they may be getting fewer showings and fewer offers.
Now, let me ask you, Mark, if you'd be kind enough to put those questions in. Those are all good. And let me ask you the question mark. Are those what base are those questions based on? Oh my gosh, I'm so funny today. What are you on third base? Are those pain questions?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Those are all great. Making them look at. And Mark, put them in, and we'll even talk about them if you'll take the second to put those in, because those are all great.
I'm actually driving, so I can't type.
Well, you can. All right. Well, you can drive with your knee. You can actually.
I am.
I got that. So here's the thing: is that that's where those are all great questions for third base. I made my point.
All right, Arnie's back. She's got another question. I think she wants to participate and do the same thing. Is that correct?
I do, but I also wanted to say, Yael, you are very compassionate, which is a great quality to have in an agent, because you look for their best interest. So when I first started out, I was really afraid of the pain. And I was like, well, I don't want to hurt people. And the only way that I could get to the pain was to address their, like, okay, so, you need this, you need this, you need this, and these are all in your best interest. What if we can't get those things and it turns into something negative?
Yeah.
Right.
What if we have to
What's
take
the
all of that
lesser
away
two
from
evils,
you?
if you will?
You're
What?
just showing them the whole picture, basically. You're showing them what they didn't see, which
Yeah.
I kind of like, and as opposed to calling it a pain point, but it's like the opposite, like, I don't know. What's the word, Denny?
I'm having a hard time with the
Pros
word.
and cons. Yeah. Okay. That's good.
But what's interesting is, and this is a great perspective. I never thought about it that way. You're actually saving them from hurting themselves long term.
Yep.
It's so if you would like to call it, I'm going to save them from pain is third base. That's okay. However, you have to future pace them. It's kind of like my dentist did on my tooth. I didn't want to get it done, and he future paced me. You don't have to get it done. However, when that tooth's ready to come out, it's not going to be convenient and it's not going to be friendly. So he was attempting to save me from that. So,
And it's not going to be cheap.
yeah. So John, let's get into another one on rate and let's see if someone can follow it. Now I'm going to be the seller this time, and I'm not going to sell because the rates just went up.
Arnie, your hand is, and by the way, am I pronouncing that correct? I know you've got a accent over the first E. Is Arnie the correct pronunciation?
It's Arne.
Arne. Okay, thank you.
So hang on a second. Arne, hang on a second. You want to do a role play? Let's get a couple other people ready to participate though, because I see a lot of people there and no hands, and we got veterans. So come on, veterans, step up. This is where we grow. So Arne, then you can be the agent and I am the seller. I'll have my timer, or John will have his timer for 4 minutes. I'll do my best not to interrupt you. I don't want to sell right now because the rates just went up.
I'm a buyer's agent.
All right, well then, okay, who wants to be a seller agent and take that?
I'll take another buyer one next time.
Okay. Well, I'm going to call on
somebody.
Whistler. All right, can you turn your camera on, Whistler? Can you play?
Sure, I can play.
Awesome. All right, Whistler, you're
What did you
the
call it?
agent. You're at my house, and hey, well, you just gave me your listing presentation. I tell you what, I'm going to use you. However, I'm not going to do it now. Interest rates just went up. We've changed our mind. We're going to wait.
And okay, so you want to sell, but you want to wait until the interest rate's lower. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right. And what's motivating you to sell your house again?
Well, we want to downsize. We have more space than we need, and we want to get into something newer, newer construction.
Okay. And how long are you willing to wait before you sell your home?
Well, we don't have to sell. We just don't, we think now is a bad time to sell because the rates are up.
And okay, so how long, so you don't have to sell right away, but you want to wait until possibly the rates go down. So, and that won't affect your, oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. So well, we don't know, we don't have a crystal ball, so we can't tell you what the rates are going to do. So, I mean, if the rates continue to go up, then the chances of you selling your home later could possibly, I mean, you could be in your home for quite a long time before you start to sell, before anybody even thinks about buying your home.
I'm going to take a nap. You keep talking. Ask me a question.
Ask you a question. So where do you want to move to?
Okay, now, all right, so great. Now, normally you might have that conversation. That's kind of second base. Let's get off second base. Let's get to third base. What am I not seeing?
What are you not seeing?
Yeah, so you got to help me see what I'm not seeing. Third base is the pain. I know we had the discussion whether we call it pain or not. Anyway, that's what am I not seeing about wanting to wait?
That the interest rates can go up, and so your chances of your house being on the market are going to be a lot longer. So you may not even get a potential buyer because nobody's going to be able to afford to buy if the rates go up. So let's put your house on the market now.
How can you communicate any of those thoughts or all those thoughts by asking me and not telling me?
What's going to happen when the interest rates go up instead of down?
Well, let me ask you this. Let me help you out.
Okay.
Are you absolutely clear on why I'm not moving?
No, well, that you want to downgrade and that.
No, that's why I want to move. Are you clear on why I am not going to move?
No.
Now that is my friends, that's the lesson. You can't run the bases until you get clarity. So let's just take the last minute and a half here. how can you get clarity on what my real issue is? I said rate. Rate isn't it. What is it? So you'll have to discover that. What is it? So what you guys, what would be some great questions you could ask?
Because that they're afraid that their house is going to sit on the market for quite a while. So the traffic may be going through their house. And so there's not going to be the potential buyers because there's not going to be any qualified buyers.
There could be a lot of things. However, if you got to just help me discover what are some, anyone can pipe in here. What are some questions?
Tell me more.
Do you think that there's anybody else
more.
who thinks,
Go ahead, Mark.
do you think that there's anyone else who thinks the same way that you are and is going to wait for interest rates to go down? And do you think at that time there'll be more competition or less competition than you have today?
Right. Now that's a third base question. It's helped me discover that maybe now is the right time to sell. Why am I hesitant? When a seller says, I don't want to move because of rates, why am I saying that?
As Vanessa said, other than that, besides rates, what other reasons would cause you not to sell now?
Well, to keep it simple, nothing.
Okay, great. So that's the only reason, interest rates are the only reason that you wouldn't sell now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Would if a year down the road, your property sold for less than it would sell for today, would that be a problem for you?
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. No.
Gotcha. So that's exactly why we should meet, Denny, because it's exactly why you should consider moving forward now, because prices risk going down based on the current trend. Would you agree based on the interest rates?
Maybe. But anyway, there is a great series of questions. What's the obvious question no one's really asked? Jenny's got her hand up, and I don't know if she doesn't have her camera on.
I want to add one more.
Yes. Oh, is it?
Go ahead, Mark.
Are you 100% convinced that every buyer is going to be financed and that none of them are going to be paying cash?
Or
Okay.
what if we could get your house sold now for the price that you want in the next 30 to 45 days? Would that work for you?
Good question. That's much better. No one's asked me if I'm going to
Can
be
I ask?
No one's asked me why is it why are you
Why are
concerned
the
about
rates concerning? That's what my question was. Why are you concerned with the rates?
That would be probably a great starting point when someone says rates. What is it about the rate? Well, I've got a 3% mortgage now.
Okay, so you're concerned with the buy side. Is that the concern? So
Yeah.
you're concerned with the rates because you're going to be buying another house and you're concerned on your payment.
Yes.
Okay. Do you need me to continue?
No. You see, now you have a little bit more clarity other than the nebulous, the rate thing. Many sellers love their current mortgage and they don't want the higher rate. Now, then there's ways to run that base too. So not to belabor the point, I just wanted, we can get Arne a buyer objection. However, I wanted you to make sure, Natalie, you're getting a little, you were going around the bases without really understanding what my real motivation was or fear. So make sure that you make sure, you guys, if you are not clear when you're having conversations, stop. I said this on Recon, I think yesterday or day before, that's got like the Uber driver taking me to the airport and he's 15 miles past the airport and he's still driving and I'm not saying anything. So quit driving. If you don't know where you're going, quit driving and get clarity. Oh, all right, John.
I didn't realize I still had my hand up, but I was gonna also ask, when you said you have 3% on your house now, on your mortgage now, I was gonna also ask if you were able to sell for the price that you wanted, how much would you net from that sale?
Well, all those are good questions. However, let me just end it with this. It's the same formula. Okay, so what is my payment here? What's my payment going to be over there with the new payment? And then what's the difference? Is that an affordability issue or is that a want to issue? And by the way, how would you like, let me give you the good news. Here's the good news. You can lock in your cost here and it will never go up. It will only go down. What else will happen, you guys, if I wait for rates, and this is what I want you, I believe this with all my heart, and I don't make predictions. If the buyer or seller is going to wait for the rates to come down, immediately prices are going up. You know why? This is the best time for a buyer to buy. How about that on your social post? Why? Somebody tell me why today is the best time for a buyer to buy.
Less demand.
Rates
Yep,
are
less
still
demand.
low.
Oh, well, okay. You say less demand. Now, see, this is all counterintuitive. Why is now a good time? Because there's less demand.
Less competition.
There's right,
See?
exactly. There's not those bidding wars out there like there was before with the interest rate so low. There's more opportunity for multiple offers to come in, and then it just becomes where you're just getting outbid. So the demand is less right now.
And you can leverage the seller buying down points or closing costs.
You
Because
guys
they're
are on it
getting-
now. You guys are on it.
Yeah, they're getting fewer offers, so now
Mm-hmm.
have a little more power to bargain.
You could
Yeah.
come up with 7, and I have. There's 7 reasons why a seller should be on the market now. There's 7 reasons a buyer should be buying now. And most of the real estate population out there, most of the world thinks now is a bad time to buy. Are you kidding me? So isn't it great that now you're looking at the right side of this issue and you can be very convincing? Now is the best time to buy. There's other reasons why too. You said there's less demand out there. That means there's fewer competition. Guess what? What's happening with inventory, guys? It's actually moving up a little bit. What's happened with, when is the best time? This is what I want you to write down. In fact, if Mark or Noah, John, maybe you can put this in the chat. The best time to buy, and this is something you should memorize. The best time for a buyer to buy is when sellers fear tomorrow is worse than today. The best time to buy is when sellers fear tomorrow is worse than today. And you'll know you've made a great offer. The best offer, I should say. When the seller is not happy, yet they're afraid to say no. Does anybody have an aha on that?
Denny, there's
I don't
one
know
thing
if
I'm
you're-
really surprised hasn't been covered yet.
John, did you put that in the chat?
I did.
Thank
He
you.
did, and that was probably the best aha right there, Denny. I'm gonna put that on my social media.
All right, just spell my name right.
So Denny, if you could move without selling your house and let somebody else pay both mortgages for you, would you consider that?
All right, let me think about this. I can move. Tell me more, because I don't understand that.
Well, what's happened to the cost of homes over the past couple of years?
They've gone up.
Okay. What's happened to the rents, the rental values over the past couple of years?
Duh, they've gone up.
Okay. And what most of my clients have found is renting out their existing home where they have that 3% mortgage that they really love nets them almost enough for them to move into that smaller house and have the renter pay for both places. Would you consider that?
Well, the idea is still rolling around in my brain. I'd have to see it on paper. Yeah, I would look at that idea, sure.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You get one person buying 2 homes for you. That's kind of a good deal.
All right, so I'm in curiosity. I would be in curiosity as a potential seller in that conversation, and clearly I don't understand how that could even be possible.
Now, are you saying that truly you don't believe it? Because I can give you a real example.
Well, if you can do it quickly and not get too deep in numbers, I mean, because I really don't think. Yes, I don't think it's. I am a doubter on that. So if you want,
and that's fine. So I bought my house 4 years ago. My rate's 2.7. Rental value on the house was $2,600 when I bought it. Today I can rent it for $6,500. My mortgage payment is $2,500. Real example. It happens every single day. The thing is we as agents are so trained. Ginger's like, they can't be happy. Yeah, it's true. I can rent my house for about $3,500 a month net cash flow. Net.
so what about your equity in it to buy the next house?
I can come up with a 10 or 20% in order. These are the things we don't dig deep enough. We're assuming the equity for the next house is in their existing home. We're assuming they have to sell that home in order to buy. We go in predisposed that every listing appointment is truly a seller.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a good point.
That's brilliant. And that would work so well in my market. And I'm thinking of 4 phone calls I had in the past week that I have to call back now.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. I've been saying this now for about 2 years. Anybody that purchased between 2019 and 2021, when rates were either side of 3%, if they are financially savvy, that's inventory that will not be on the market in 5 to 7 years, like most homes come on the market. Why would you ever give up a mortgage that you make money on just because of the arbitrage on inflation? No one should ever do that. So, and yeah, it's kind of a complicated topic. However, there is an element of people that are going to say, I'm never selling this house because it's too cheap for me to own it. Therefore, that section of inventory that you would expect to come on the market 5 to 7 years later will not, which is going to create an inventory shortage in another 3 or 4 years, regardless of what happens with interest rates.
So, John, I think that is a nice piece, another lever that we can learn how to do. And we should probably incorporate conversations around that periodically so people get comfortable with it.
You can tell I get excited over them. I get all worked up. My arms start going everywhere.
I know you like numbers. All right, come on. We got time for 2 more quick role plays. So,
all right, guys, what do we got?
We got a buyer role play coming up, and in a buyer role play, who wants the buyer? Who wants the buyer objection? Why are people so shy?
We know Arne wants the buyer objection because she's the buyer agent.
All right. Well, we promised her one. All right. Here it is. Arne, you ready?
Sure.
Okay. So, hey, I appreciate you wanting to work with me, and I'll promise anything you show me, I'm going to buy. However, I'm just not going to sign any buyer brokerage agreement. Go.
Okay. So what is it about signing an agreement that makes you not want to do it?
Well, we know a lot of real estate people, and I have other people looking for a house for me. And so I just want to give, they'll be fair. If you find a house, I'll work through you, but I'm just not going to work with one broker.
Okay. So, are all of those people sending you homes and doing research for you?
Well, we've talked to a couple and they said they would, and we've gotten a couple emails. So.
Okay. And would you say that I've been consistent in sending you exactly what you're looking for and talking to you about keeping in contact about the market and giving you good information?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So you've been good.
Okay. So, would you, I lost my train of thought.
Okay. So now there's no worries. No worries. Many times we're going to get to the point of what you did. Now, what I want you to ask yourself, are you clear on why I don't want to be locked into one agent? You've got to have.
No. Okay. So what is it about being locked into one agent that you don't like?
Well, I mean, you don't know of all the homes, and I know that sometimes the homes come on the market or sell before they're coming on the market. So I'm looking for more agents out there that may be getting these little gems for me.
Okay. I mean, yes, I could put you on a search and, get you daily alerts. So the minute a home comes on the market, you get an email. But what I offer you instead is my team has a lot of off-market properties that are.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I'm leveraging, is I'm looking for the deal on the off-market property. So if I can get more agents like you that would basically contact me about the potential off-market properties, I think I win. And if you have it, I'll buy it from you.
Okay.
You got a minute.
And that makes sense. You want the deal. Unfortunately, the only way I can show you those off-market properties is by having an agreement signed with you, or it's unethical and illegal for me to share that information with you. And because the seller has only agreed to show people on our buyer addendum that home, and they don't want anyone else to see it. And in Nevada, we cannot break the law, and I won't break the law for anyone.
Is that really true?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, wait a minute. You don't have if these are off-market properties, the seller has not signed an agreement yet.
No, we do have a listing agreement with them to keep it off the MLS and off the internet.
No,
And
I get it. I
and
get it.
show
I
it
get
to
it. Hang on,
private
hang on,
clients.
hang on. You know it's coming. It's not on the market yet. There's no listing agreement signed. You can
Well,
tell
there
me.
No,
You can
there is
tell
a
me.
list-
You
there
can
is
tell
a
me
list-
about that. Hang on. You can tell me about that property.
Don't think private placement, Arne. Okay, because what you're referring to is a private placement that truly has an agreement between the agency and the seller. What Denny's referring to is, hey, I caught wind that somebody's going to be selling their house.
Yeah. Here is the other thing. Many agents, the majority of agents really have a hard time getting a buyer broker agreement signed. And now let's just stay out of the quagmire of state laws and stuff, because what is the advantage to me? See, what is the advantage to me?
Okay.
And hang on, I'm just going to solve it. We got time for one more. Is this? Well, I get that. So I'm just going to reverse. Arne, so you don't want to sign the agreement because all these other people are looking. Well, let me ask you a question. These other agents that they have buyer brokers agreements signed, when these potential off-market listings are about ready to come on the market, who are they going to call first? Are they going to call the people first that have signed the buyer broker agreement with them? Or are they going to call you, you have no relationship with them? Who are they obligated to call first?
The people they've signed with.
There you go. That is the golden nugget right there. So
Yeah.
basically, if you've got 4 brokers that are going to send you the off-market properties, they say they will, they have first been screened through their choice by their agents. So you're only going to get your leftovers. So can you not see you're actually shooting yourself in the foot? Because no one's going to give you the sneak peek on the best properties, because you have no relationship with anybody. That's the point I wanted to have you bring up. So that should be a light bulb for some people.
Okay.
So, nice. John?
And Arne, way to dig your heels in and keep pushing through. I love that. So good job. One more, guys. What do you got? Who's going to step out and be a seller for Denny?
Give me one. Come on.
Seller.
I want to play.
Jason.
I'll be a seller. Yes.
All right.
Okay. So any particular scenario you want, or should I just go for one?
Something realistic that everyone can learn from.
I just keep hearing it's off the market. It's no longer for sale. I'm hearing that a lot. Just short, to the point, terse. That's it. Off the market. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. This is a seller objection?
Yes. Expired.
Oh, so you want me to call you as an expired call?
Sure. Sounds good.
All right. Ring.
Hello.
Yeah, is this the owner here of 111 Main Street?
Yes. Yes. No longer for sale. Thank you for calling.
All right, cool. Did you hang up on me?
No.
Okay. It's no longer for sale. Well, awesome. So you decided to stay put?
Yeah, we're just gonna wait. We're just gonna wait. I'm getting a lot of calls. I really don't want to sell it.
Okay. What? Well, I understand. I don't make a lot of expired calls, so you're putting me on a spot. If you hang up on me, if you did hang up on me, I would call you back and say, I think we just got disconnected.
Got it. That's
So
good.
I would do that. And then I'm gonna say, well, do you mind if I just ask one question? Can I
Sure,
take 30 seconds?
go ahead.
If there was somebody that gave you your number on your house, do you still want to move?
I mean, if they gave me my number, but we weren't getting those types of offers, that type of interest.
Well,
I mean, it's not a good time right now. The interest rates are going up. It's just not a good time to be selling.
I understand, but my point is, if it could be done, would you do it?
I mean, if I could get the price that I wanted, the 800, I would still sell it. I just don't know. I don't think the market allows that.
Well, you might think that because of what your other agent did for you. I specialize in homes that didn't sell the first time. So here's my only question is, if it can be done, is it worth a 10-minute conversation with you? That's all.
I mean, I'm getting so many realtors calling me, you know, they all have pretty much the same script. So I don't really, you know, I just don't have time. I got to be focused on work, you know?
I got that. Well, you know why they're calling you, don't you?
Because they want the listing.
That's right. That's not why I'm calling you. I'm
Oh,
calling to help you get moved if you want to get moved. I don't want your listing. So is it worth 10 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want the listing and you think you can sell it and get me moved, yeah, I'm open to that.
Right. I mean, I don't want the listing if it's not going to sell. If it doesn't get you moved, I don't want it. However, would you like to know from a professional like me if basically you can be healed?
Yeah, but I mean, I had a great agent. It was actually my sister who was the agent, you know, and I trust my sister.
I got it. However, you know, sometimes have you ever heard when people have a medical issue, they get a second opinion, but it's free. Is it worth 10 minutes? Dude, come on, man. Give me a break. It's almost 2 o'clock.
All right. Yes. Yes.
So, I mean,
Denny just played the world's gonna end, or you're gonna kiss me card.
Here's the thing. When I hear all the different, there's only one question I really want. If I want to get asked a potential expired or an expired one question, listen, if it could happen, would you do it? That's it. If it's possible, would you do it? And if they say, well, you know, just what I did is all right. That's the only question I'm concerned with. And the other thing about getting all the calls, I think it's pretty cool little attempt. Why are those people calling you? They're calling to get the listing. Oh, I don't want your listing. I want to help you get moved. See, my focus is helping people solving problems, not listing homes. You can be a little bit different.
That got me thinking. I was like a pattern interrupt right there. You know,
it really is. It really is.
Yeah.
Yes. And my question to you is Brady going to Miami?
Say it again.
Tom Brady going to play for Miami?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that. That's a good script though for somebody who's a football fan.
Why did you see Miami behind you? All right, John, we got to wrap this up. So how do you want to wrap it up? Does anybody have any ahas?
I was going right down that road. Would love to hear the takeaways from today, guys.
Not looking for the listing.
Yeah, you're a problem solver. Nice. What else?
Motivation first thing.
Second base motivation. That's right. I like that analogy.
Third base questions.
Third base question, right? Help them see what they're not seeing. Excellent. Well, I'll tell you what, it's we got this one done early in 2 minutes. So we have 2 minutes. If anyone has any questions, this is free. This is all free.
I have my physical hand up. So I was following these scripts, which were really good. But what was happening is that, let me pull them up. I even have them written down. They were very good, but what was happening was they didn't have like the answer to the objection. So as I role played, like I literally role played with a friend and we just read through it. So I sticky noted, hold on. So I sticky noted. So one of them was, I need to speak to my husband. One of the objections, I need to speak to my husband. And do you have a buyer when someone wants to, when they call you? But yeah, I want to speak to my husband. I know we addressed it, but if you want to just talk about that.
Really quick, and I'll let John, I just have a really quick statement. Number one, I would say, I understand you want to speak to your husband. If he was basically in favor of it, where do you stand?
Okay. And then, okay, one more. We'll throw another one. So you would say, I'm a little surprised your home didn't sell. What kind of feedback did your last agent give you? So if they answer you, well, that's private, it's none of your business, or why are you asking, or something like that.
Oh, I would say, well, it's okay. No, however, I'd let it roll. I'd roll my back. I just go on to something else and say, well, what do you think the market, what kind of feedback did the market give you?
And then they say, well, why are you asking that? Why do you want to know?
Well, I guess. John, why would you want to know?
Well, it's so interesting. At some point, and now this is perfect. Yael's going to make us go over a couple minutes. Awesome. we got to stay true to form. At some point, the questions and the tone of questions, this is me, this is not for everybody. The questions and the tone of questions that the prospect is sending out is going to cause me to say, okay, see you. This is not the sort of person I want.
I know. As I'm being, I was getting a little perturbed too, and I was like,
yeah, I'm like, well, listen, I'm trying to help you out here, Yael. And if you genuinely do not want the help of a professional, I'm okay with that. I'm going to go find someone who does.
Got
My
it.
attitude.
Got
Okay?
it. Anybody on here wants a script play with me? I don't know. Never mind. Sorry, I'm not hijacking your call.
No. So this is the way to do that. Go to Denny Delivers on Facebook.
Yeah.
And put everybody should be a member of that page already. Go to Denny Delivers Training. I think it's Denny Delivers Training.
You talking about Facebook? Or, you're talking about my YouTube, right?
No, Facebook, and request a role play and script and role play partner.
Okay.
On there,
Yeah.
and the people that participate in this call and the recon call will have access to that. All right.
Oh yeah. What time is recon and what time zone is it in?
That's right. Just
Okay,
post
so it's 9:30 Eastern.
Oh,
Okay, which is 6:30 your time, Arne. And guess what? We have people from San Francisco, so there is no excuse.
yeah. I know. There's no excuse.
Okay, so Denny Grimes, Mastery of Real Estate. I'm going to put the Facebook link in here right now, so you guys have it. You need role play partners. Join Denny's page here. And you got everything you need. All right.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
You'll also have access to all of these recordings as well, so you can go back and listen to them. All right.
Thank you.
Awesome. Later, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.